Imagine holding a Ferrero Rocher in your hand. Before you even take a bite, you can already see the layers that make it so recognizable. A delicate shell of crisp wafer, a smooth and silky hazelnut cream, a single roasted hazelnut sitting perfectly in the center. All of it wrapped in milk chocolate and finished with a coating of finely chopped hazelnuts. Every piece is designed like a tiny edible architecture project, with textures stacked, one on top of another. When you bite into it, the experience unfolds in stages. First the chocolate breaks, then the nutty crunch, then the airy wafer, and finally the creamy filling with the hazelnut core. But Ferrero Rocher isn't just made one piece at a time by hand. The entire assembly process happens faster than you can unwrap one. So how do they manage to produce so many chocolates with such perfect consistency? How does each one come out round, crisp, and identical to the last? Today we're going inside the factory to see how millions of Ferrero Rocher chocolates are made every year. Harvesting the hazelnuts. Everything begins with one ingredient that defines the entire chocolate: hazelnuts. Ferrero Rochers wouldn't exist without them. They provide the deep nutty flavor, the crunchy coating, and the signature whole nut hidden inside every piece. Ferrero is actually one of the largest hazelnut buyers in the world, sourcing nuts from orchards across countries like Turkey, Italy, Chile, and the United States. When hazelnuts reach maturity, they naturally fall from the tree to the ground. Instead of collecting them by hand, modern harvesting machines sweep across the orchard floor. These machines use powerful suction and rotating brushes that gather the nuts from the soil. As the nuts are pulled into the machine, a first round of sorting begins. Leaves, twigs, and dirt are separated using vibrating screens and airflow systems. The cleaned nuts then collect in large storage bins on the harvesting machine. Once the bins are full, the hazelnuts are transferred into trucks and transported to processing facilities. And the transformation is only just beginning. Cleaning and shelling the nuts. When the hazelnuts arrive at the processing plant, they go through another cleaning stage. Even though most debris was removed in the orchard, small bits of dirt, dust, and plant material can still remain. Industrial cleaning systems use air jets, shaking screens, and rotating drums to remove anything that doesn't belong. After cleaning, the hazelnuts move to a shelling machine. Each nut is cracked open carefully, so that the edible kernel inside remains intact. Large rollers apply just enough pressure to split the shells. Once cracked, the nuts move through separation systems that use airflow to blur away the lighter shell fragments. The result is a steady stream of clean, shelled hazelnuts ready for roasting. Roasting the hazelnuts. Roasting is one of the most important steps in the entire process. Raw hazelnuts have a mild flavor, but when they're roasted, something incredible happens. Heat triggers chemical reactions inside the nut that develop deeper aroma and flavor. Ferrero roasts hazelnuts in controlled batches inside large rotating ovens. If the nuts roast too little, they won't develop their full flavor. If they roast too long, they can become bitter. After roasting, the thin brown skins on the hazelnuts loosen and are removed using friction systems that gently rub the nuts against each other. What remains are perfectly roasted, golden hazelnuts. Some are selected to remain whole. These will become the center of each Ferrero Rocher. Others are chopped into small pieces for the outer coating, and another portion will be ground down to create the famous hazelnut cream filling. Grinding hazelnuts for cream. To make the smooth hazelnut cream that fills the chocolates, roasted hazelnuts are sent through a grinding system. Powerful mills crush the nuts into a paste. At first, the texture is coarse, but the mixture continues through refining machines that grind it finer and finer. The goal is to create an incredibly smooth paste, where individual particles are almost impossible to feel on the tongue. During this stage, additional ingredients are added. Sugar, cocoa powder, and vegetable oils are carefully measured and blended into the hazelnut paste. The mixture gradually transforms into a thick, glossy hazelnut chocolate cream. Its consistency must be perfect. It needs to be fluid enough to be pumped through factory pipes, but stable enough to hold its shape. Once ready, the cream is stored in heated tanks that keep it at a stable temperature, so it stays smooth and ready for the assembly line. Preparing the chocolate coating. While the filling is prepared, another process begins nearby. The chocolate coating. Large blocks of milk chocolate arrive at the factory weighing several kilograms each. These blocks are fed into melting kettles designed specifically for chocolate. Instead of heating the chocolate directly, the kettles use a double jacket heating system. This gently warms the chocolate without burning it. As the chocolate melts, it becomes a thick, flowing liquid. Inside some of these kettles, thousands of pounds of melted chocolate can be held at once. The chocolate must stay at an exact temperature range. Too hot, and it could damage the wafer shells. Too cool, and it wouldn't flow evenly during coating. Maintaining this balance is essential for achieving the smooth, glossy finish Ferrero Rocher is known for. Baking the wafer shells. Another key part of Ferrero Rocher is the wafer shell. This thin, crisp layer is what creates the satisfying crunch when you bite into the chocolate. The wafer batter starts with simple ingredients: flour, sugar, vegetable fats, water, and a small amount of salt. Inside industrial mixers, these ingredients are blended into a smooth batter. Once mixed, the batter is pumped into wafer baking machines. These machines contain metal plates shaped like small hemispheres. When the batter is dispensed into the molds, the plates close and move through a heated oven. Within minutes, the batter bakes into thin wafer halves. These delicate wafer shells emerge light, crisp, and perfectly shaped. Because Ferrero Rocher uses a spherical wafer shell, the halves must fit together precisely. After baking, the wafer halves travel along conveyor belts where they cool and stabilize. Soon, they're ready for filling. Forming the wafer sphere. Here the magic happens. Two filled wafer halves are brought together and aligned perfectly. Automated positioning arms rotate and center each piece before gently pressing them together. The hazelnut cream acts as a natural adhesive, sealing the two halves into a sphere. But even with precise machines, the edges must still be trimmed. So the newly formed wafer balls move through a shaping station. Special dies trim and smooth the seam where the two halves meet. This ensures each wafer sphere is perfectly round. At this point, the chocolates still look fairly plain, but the next step transforms them into the iconic Ferrero Rocher. Chocolate coating. The wafer spheres travel down the line toward the chocolate coating station. Here, the spheres pass through a curtain of flowing melted chocolate. The chocolate coats the entire surface of the wafer ball. Temperature control here is critical. The chocolate must remain fluid long enough to coat evenly, but not so hot that it softens the wafer structure. Immediately after coating, the chocolates pass through a shower of chopped hazelnut pieces. These small nut fragments stick to the still wet chocolate surface. This creates the signature rough texture that Ferrero Rocher is known for. The coated chocolates then pass through vibrating conveyors. This gently shakes off excess chocolate and ensures the coating remains even. Wrapping the chocolates Ferrero Rocher is instantly recognizable because of its gold foil wrapping. At the packaging line, automated machines pick up each chocolate and wrap it in a thin sheet of gold foil. The foil is carefully folded around the sphere so it fits snugly against the chocolate. This wrapping serves two purposes. First, it protects the chocolate during transportation. It gives the candy its luxurious appearance. After wrapping, the chocolates are placed into small pleated paper cups. These cups prevent the chocolates from rolling and keep them stable inside the package. Boxing and distribution. The final stage is packaging. Wrapped chocolates move along conveyors where robotic arms place them into clear plastic trays. These trays are then sealed inside the familiar Ferrero Rocher boxes. The clear packaging allows customers to see the golden chocolates inside. This visual presentation is intentional. Ferrero Rocher is often sold as a gift, and the elegant packaging reinforces that premium feeling. Once boxed, the chocolates are packed into shipping cartons and sent to distribution centers. From there, they travel to grocery stores and shops around the world. Millions of Ferrero Rocher chocolates are produced each year using this process. Yet each one maintains the same recognizable structure. A roasted hazelnut, wrapped in creamy filling, inside a crisp wafer shell, covered in chocolate and hazelnuts. A simple combination of ingredients transformed through precise engineering and careful craftsmanship. Next time you unwrap a Ferrero Rocher, take a moment before the first bite. Inside that small golden wrapper is a product of orchards, roasting ovens, wafer bakeries, chocolate kettles, and high-speed production lines all working together. Layer by layer, step by step. It's a reminder that even something as small as a chocolate can be the result of an incredible manufacturing process. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how Ferrero Rocher is made, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more factory deep dives into the foods we eat every day. And we'll see you in the next episode.